Hello YouTube, for today's lesson I will be talking about how to comp over a jazz blues as a beginner and basically shell voicings. So let's get right into it. Shell voicings are essentially the root, third, and seventh of a chord, and we're going to play those notes for the shell voicing. So if we're to play a jazz blues in B flat, which is a very common key for jazz blues, we're going to start with a B flat 7 for the first measure, and the chord's going to look like this. So for this fingering, it's going to be 6 on the E string, skip the A string, and on the D string, you're going to play 6, 2, and on the G string, you're going to play 7, so 6, 6, 7. And the notes are B flat, A flat, and D. Sorry, I'm a bit out of tune. Then you're going to play this E flat 7 shell voicing. So this is going to be 6, 5, 6 on the A, G, and B strings. And you're going to play the B flat 7 for one measure, and then the E flat 7 for one measure too. And then you're going to go back to the B flat 7 for two measures. Then you're going to go to the E flat 7 shell voicing for two measures. Then you're going to go back to the B flat 7 for two measures. And then for the 8th bar, or the ninth bar, the 12 bar blues, we're going to go to this F7 shell voicing, which is the same as this E flat 7, just moved up. So this is going to be 8, 7, 8. This is an F7, and the notes are F, A, and E flat. So you're going to play one bar of this, so I'm just going to play that for you very slowly and show the chords as they show up. So the rhythm that I'm playing for this is the Charleston, which is a very common jazz rhythm. And it's very good for a beginner because it gives you the feel of 1, which is important. The rhythm is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it's 1 and the and of 2. So the rhythm would go something like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. So it gives you a good sense for where 1 is, and it also gives you the upbeat, which gives it a little bit of, momentum. Okay, so what I just showed you is one standard version of how musicians play the B flat jazz blues. It's B flat, and it goes to E flat. It's B flat for one measure, E flat for one measure, B flat for two measures, then it goes to E flat for two measures, then it goes to B flat for two measures, then it goes to F7 for one measure, E flat 7 for one measure, then back to B flat 7 for one measure, then back to F7, and then we're back at the top of the form. Another very standard way to play the blues is what I'm about to show you, which is using substitutions. And basically, we're going to play very similar to the first version, but we're going to throw in a 2-5-1 in a couple of spots. And if you don't know what a 2-5-1 is, a 2-5-1 is a common progression in jazz that serves as a way of moving to a chord. So basically, when we use a 2-5-1 in a jazz blues, it's a way of creating motion. And motion is very essential in jazz because it creates a sense of the music going somewhere. So, this version of a jazz blues, B flat for one measure, E flat for one measure, B flat 7 for one measure, then we're going to do a quick 2-5. A quick 2-5-1 going to the 4 chord, E flat 7. So, in the 4th bar of the B flat blues, we're going to do 2 beats of F minor 7, 2 beats of B flat 7, to the F7. So it'd go like this if I was to comp it using all beats. One, two, three, four. Okay, now we're at the E flat 7, and for this, to create a little bit of movement, we're going to play the E flat 7 for one measure. Then we're going to go to a E diminished chord, and the voicing that I use for this is 7, 5, 6, and this is the note E, G, and E flat. So we have this voicing after you play the E flat 7. So it's going to go. This is the 5th bar of the 12-bar blues in jazz, and we're on the E flat 7 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then after that E diminished chord, you go back to the B flat 7 for 1 bar. And then after that, you go to the G7, which you can either play this voicing for G7 dominant or that one. So you go, just to summarize, the second section of a jazz blues, it'd go like this. So this G7 chord is the 5 chord to a C minor 7 chord. And why are we going to C minor? Well, for the 9th bar of this 12-bar blues, we're going to a C minor chord because we're playing a 2-5-1 back to B flat 7. So this C minor chord, you play it for one measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to go to F7, which is the 5 chord of B flat 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the third section of a jazz blues is going to be C minor 7 for 1 bar, F dominant 7th for 1 bar, and then B flat 7. And you can play this turnaround, which is going to be B flat 7 for 2 beats, G7 for 2 beats, C minor 7 for 2 beats, F7 for 2 beats. So the last 2 bars of the blues is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, or the last bar. The last bar of the B flat blues is going to be. Then you're back to the top of the form. So let me play for you the more jazzified, substitution-filled version of a jazz blues that you should know. And I'm going to do the Charleston rhythm for this. And I'm going to flash the chords as they show up. Oh, I forgot. I forgot something very important to share with you about practicing over B-flat blues or comping over B-flat blues. Use a metronome, please. Metronomes are so helpful. And set it on 2 and 4. So, let's say we're playing a jazz blues at around we're going to go slow. This is 58 BPM. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, with this going, we're going to play the Charleston rhythm over the modified jazz blues. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 So practice that, I'd say around 60 BPM on 2 and 4. So that's going to be 120 beats per minute in total. So practice that, use the Charleston rhythm as a beginner, and then you can move on to other other rhythms that are more syncopated. I'm going to make a video about that in the future. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something valuable today. And I'd like to quickly share that I am offering private lessons through Zoom. So if you feel like you've learned something from my videos, reach out to me and we can set up some lessons over Zoom. Thank you and have a great day.